In early December, and under the code name Operation Sodom, Colombian authorities uncovered what they claimed to be a criminal network led by Israeli citizens. Police raided multiple locations in several cities and arrested 8 Israelis under charges of sexual slavery of minors, drug trafficking, and aggravated murder, a criminal probe built over 2 years.
Israeli citizens were the ones behind this cruel, criminal, and illicit practice. They took advantage of the needs and circumstances of girls and adolescents identified with this network. They reached Colombian youths to exploit them sexually for commercial purposes and subject them to all kinds of humiliation.
This is how it works. Israelis, mainly businessmen and former IDF soldiers, get an all-inclusive deal in Israel for their vacations to Colombia. The package offers a room in a pre-arranged Israeli-run hostel, trips across the country, yacht parties, drugs, and a special service, a highly requested one, of sexual encounters with local women, many of them minors. The court documents obtained by I-24 News shed light on this alleged criminal ring, describing the members of the organization, and the charges against the involved included aggravated murder, conspiracy to commit a crime, trafficking and possession of drugs, sexual tourism, money laundering, illicit enrichment, and procuring minors. Following the initial seizure of their assets, estimated by the prosecution to be dozens of millions of dollars, the suspects now await their trial, which is expected to be held in the South American country soon. This is not the first time Israelis are linked to criminal activities of this kind around the world, and especially in Colombia. In November of 2017, a similar case, naming one of the same suspects, shocked Colombian public opinion. Asi Ben Moshe, a 45-year-old Israeli owner of several hotels, was then detained and subsequently deported. His name appears at the top of the criminal organization focused on sexual exploitation and drug trafficking. Colombian officials claim he continued to run the operation from abroad.
The Colombian police are trying to show the local public that they're fighting crime, prostitution, drugs. They quote a foreigner, not a local, not a Colombian, appealed to the media, carried out a highly publicized deportation of tremendous pompousness. When the deportee had not the slightest criminal background, he played no part in the crimes attributed to him. So I have a feeling that the local police, and maybe also the legal and political authorities, are trying to score points on the back of Asi. That when they deport him, they're apparently fighting the crime that takes place in Colombia.
And although there were reports in local media regarding an Interpol notice against his client, Mr. On assures us that information is false.
Asi has no enemies, no Israeli enemies, and no Colombian enemies. So it's a difficult feeling regarding the manner in which the Colombian police and security forces are acting.
Colombia will continue to attract thousands of Israelis in the foreseeable future, and a negative effect in bilateral relations seems very unlikely. But with criminal charges piling up, the question is, how will Israelis be welcomed by locals now that these allegations have come out?
In Colombia, although it is on the news, it is something minor. It is not something that gets a lot of focus in the news. We must continue to work on the bilateral relations and promote tourism, which is one of the reasons why Israelis come to Colombia. That will continue to happen.
What is certain now is that for some, the fiesta is over.